Hello, welcome back to Underrated Movies. I'm your guy, I'm your man, Mr. Alton Henry, and today I would like to talk to you about another film that I think is severely underrated and nobody really talks about these days. Well, of course, it's old. It's over a decade old, and nobody's going to talk about something over a decade old. But I'm here to tell you, if you need a good movie to check out, I'm going to let you know what movie, how you should watch it, maybe. This movie's about to leave Netflix, so you might have to watch it somewhere else. And to tell you, right behind me is the 2008 war film, Defiance, starring Daniel Craig, Levi Schreiber, sorry, butcher your name, bro, Jamie Bell, and George Mackay, who I found out that's actually the kid who was in 1917. Wow. And actually, when I watched the film, I just finished rewatching it. His face stood out like, crap, that's the guy from 1917. Anyway, this film right here is based on a true story. Oh no, they're Belarusian. I'm gonna put it right here in the caption below. I can pronounce it. From Poland, I think. About three brothers, actually no, four, fought against the Nazis in World War II and rescued hundreds of Jews from extermination. And the film chronicles their lifetime from 1941, some point I think early mid of 1941 to mid-winter of 1942. Stars Daniel Craig and all those other actors I mentioned earlier. And I remember seeing this in theaters, and I remember there wasn't a lot of people in there. I don't know. This movie was good. I don't know why people didn't really seek this out, but anyway, this film was freaking good. It's actually one of my favorite war films ever because it was a little bit different. It wasn't about Americans fighting World War II or the British or anything. It was about just these villagers. Some of these were ex-military people, but they were villagers who decided they had enough and gone about to avoid the Nazis as much as they can, but not without a fight. And I thought that was interesting. I thought that was an interesting story, and this is actually a true story. This is actually based off a book from somebody named Makis Tis, and the book is called the Bielski partisans. I believe the book is like Defiance, the Bielski partisans. I'm sorry, my pronunciation sucks. I'm trying to improve that. And I remember seeing this in theaters. I remember seeing the trailers, but I remember seeing this in theaters. I thought this was going to be like the big epic war dramas that's going to get filled with a lot of emotion and a lot of impact and very powerful. And actually, this is what I got. This is actually surprisingly one of the most least violent war films that I've ever seen. I mean, yeah, you see a little blood here or there and somebody gets shot, but nothing too gory as most war films glorify nowadays. It's kind of like the war films back in the day where you don't see a lot of like blood, but you see somebody get shot. So that was something I guess that was, well, just for me, for my taste, I like to see a little blood and goriness. But why? But I think the big question is, why should you see this film? Why? This is actually a very entertaining and inspiring film. Even though there's some depressing moments in this film, it really, I think this is one of Daniel Craig's better roles besides his role as James Bond. You really feel for these characters. You really like these characters, especially Levi Schreiber, who actually stole the show for me at least. His character was probably the most cool, badass kind of character. I don't mean that like in a like his character's badass in a way. His character is badass, but someone in a good way. His character, which I kind of side with, that he's kind of tired of his cause, because all these characters, all these the brothers, they're all Jewish. They are tired of seeing their cause being destroyed. And Levi Scriber's character, who plays Zeus, Bielski, he's like, I want to fight. I'm going to go out and fight and take control of, anybody that who side along with the Nazis, help them out, and also got our, family killed. I'm not. I'm going to take a stand with this. And he is the one that kind of leads or gives, I guess, Daniel Craig this idea that we need to kind of retaliate, and he kind of agrees in a way, but not in the method with Daniel Craig, or at least what he thought. He believes that that they shouldn't become as monstrous or as vile as the Nazis. This is kind of like a Realistic and Glorious Bastards, to say the least. And throughout the film, you kind of see them butt heads. Their beliefs, their perspectives on how they should handle the war, just the situation in a very kind of, they differ from one another, and there's a certain point in the film where they kind of drift apart, and you kind of see that, you'll see that throughout the film. And it's actually kind of heartbreaking where their relationship deteriorates and they just have different viewpoints, and unfortunately it happens. Really, his film, I thought his performance in here should have been Oscar nominated. This guy was phenomenal. This guy is actually underrated. To me, he's an underrated actor. He's a very good, probably one of the best American actors so far. Jamie Bell's also good in here, though I don't think his character really shines a whole lot. Maybe in just certain moments, especially kind of towards the third act of the film. I think his character shines more towards the act, and I feel like the film tried to balance the three brothers. The fourth one gets, I guess, cast along on the side a little bit, where he's kind of on the stand-in, and since his character is kind of young, like I guess in the teens, he doesn't really do much except just kind of observe his brothers and see what's going on and how to kind of adjust with the world that he's being brought in. Really, the film, what I really liked about this, that this was more of a guerrilla style kind of like war film, where you have these guys assault police stations that are working for the Nazis, other stations, outposts, Nazi outposts. They go around and ambush a lot of just Nazi occupied areas to kind of just to kind of bring down the forces down. But the film is mostly about a drama about their brothers, about their time from the first year of them getting into the war, and to really just cope with trying to be a leader. Why should they try to, I guess, save these other people, these other Jewish people that are looking for someone to look up to take care of them, and to stay away from the Nazis. Zeus disagrees that they should try to defend themselves, while Tuvia, or Daniel Craig's character, believes that they need to protect everyone from being killed off. And they actually train some of these villagers to fight, so that's actually kind of inspiring, seeing some of these other characters try to defend themselves, and it's actually pretty cool. It's actually a pretty cool film. The only complaint I would say is just my taste, is that it's not as graphic, it's not as gory, but you do feel the vibe of a gritty war film in this, and this is actually a phenomenal war movie. Should have got a lot of attention, and I remember looking, and I looked at the box office. The movie barely made any money. I think the budget was like 30-something million, made like 52 million. I mean, that's still kind of good, but it's not enough to spread the word of like, hey, this film is good, you should watch it. Wow. This is a phenomenal film, and it's actually on this last day on Netflix. So please check this film out. Really, Levi Scriber's, I think this is my favorite role of his in this film. But Daniel Craig is good too, and so is everybody else. But please check this movie out. If you haven't, please comment below. Let me know. if you have, and spread the word that this film needs to get more attention. It needs to. Especially around this in holiday season. Let me know, and I will see you in my next underrated movies.